That is an oar! On the oar! Oars and the Boston Bruins have won the Stanley Cup.
Warner goes back to throw, and here's the blitz by Mike Vrabel. The pass is intercepted. Picked off by Kyle 30, 25, 20, 15, touchdown! Kyle picks it up and takes it to the house.
The most combative radio host on the planet.
You're going to be doing a lot of doobie rolling when you're living in a van down by the river.
Such a sexy radio host.
He was no slouch in bed.
You son of a bitch.
Man, I'm so hyped right now. Anything's possible. Anything's possible!
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
This town needs an enema.
I'm gonna make him an offer again.
Now, live on ESPN Radio, the Jim Censabella Show.
Are you ready? Because it's my time.
Back here, 2 days back and forth, hours. 2 hours ready to go here with lots of good news coming forth in the NFL. Just breaking news right now. Welcome to the Jim Censabella Show. Again, you go to ESPN Radio New Hampshire. Go to ESPNNHradio.com. Check out our new website there. Click and listen live. Text us at 503-52. Or you can give us a shout at 603-883-9900. Breaking news here. Out of the NFL, good God, finally it's happened, right? Because it took somebody to get beaten and give out a cheesy 2-game suspension. The NFL has come out today and toughens its stance on domestic violence, which, by the way, they never had a policy on domestic violence, which to me is crazy, considering they have a policy for just about every other infraction, including slipping on a banana peel. But they've come out today. And it will be a no questions asked, looks like a 6-game suspension off the bat. Bringing in Nick Anastos on my left, the left hand of God right now. And I would simply say, boy, does Ray Rice apply to this now, or was that already done and now we're going to do the 6 games?
Unfortunately, it took the Ray Rice incident, as you pointed out, to bring this to light. The good news is they did, I think, finally the right thing. Right, there's your response.
Yesterday we talked about this.
Here's the response we've been waiting for. We got it today.
Yeah.
Okay, does it have enough teeth?
No.
Is my question. I think a lifetime ban on a second try, that's some teeth there, right? That a little bit of bite to that. Yes! So that should get the players' attention.
Here's the sad part. It took somebody to get beaten.
Right, that's the sad part.
All right? And the amazing part is that with all the people in this world that follow certain policies and how certain organization teams and everything all kind of amp up, right, and take care of things, you got organizations out there against domestic violence, domestic abuse, you name it. Mm-hmm. And not one of them had ever questioned the NFL for not having that type of a policy in place. Okay?
I guess everybody just kind of assumed it was there.
Yeah, we all did. I assumed it. We all took a look and said, wait.
You assume that when you drive a car, you get in an accident, that the airbag is going to come out?
Yeah. I mean, I think Rich is the one that brought it up and said initially that they never had a policy on it. Well, we were all kicking it around a few weeks ago. And so in a letter sent to every NFL owner on Thursday, Commissioner Roger Cheeseball Goodell announced enhanced discipline under the personal conduct policy. So under the umbrella of the personal conduct policy to every player and owner, that will result in a 6-game suspension for the first offense. Here's the second offense. A lifetime ban for a second offense committed by any NFL employee. Owner, popcorn stand guy, it don't matter.
That catches your attention.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's what we were looking for, right?
Well, listen,
right?
I mean, I guess if somebody's going to call out racist names in the NBA and they're going to get a lifetime ban, to me, this is a worse offense than that. Although there are people out there that may think that that's different. But you'd never lay your hands on a woman or a man. Either way. I'll side with both of the sides. There's some big women out there that can put a can of whoop ass on some guys out there. But a 6-game suspension, first offense. You do it again, and it's a lifetime ban. But here's the question I have. Is it a lifetime ban? Say you're out of football. I want to point this one to Goodell. Say you're Michael Irvin, because he had an instance like this. He's out of football. He's working for a network.
Mm-hmm. That's owned by the league.
It's owned by the league right now. If that happens, he's an NFL employee.
Yeah,
correct?
he'd be gone.
At what point do I'd like to know if the MLB, NHL, and NBA have the same policies in place, and will they take note today for this? Because this is not just the NFL.
Well, that was Goodell's whole defense early on, saying, why are you picking on me?
Yeah.
None of the other leagues do anything either.
Well,
we're at least suspending somebody for this, whether it's 2 games, whatever it is.
Sure.
We're actually suspending somebody versus the lack of action in other leagues. So I don't know. I mean, the NFL right now is the big kid on the block, though.
Yeah.
Okay,
They're
the
the
big
number
kid
one.
on the block sets the tone.
Yep.
So now that the tone has been set, we'll see if the other leagues fall suit. But, by and large, though, the other leagues haven't had these kind of widespread in-the-news problems relating to their players, right? I mean, I'd say the NFL, when it comes down to getting in trouble in general, probably more so. I don't know what the arrest numbers or the stats are or anything like that, but I would say it really seems like the NFL players have more of these kind of legal battles, these legal issues that they have to deal with versus other leagues.
Right. Interesting. I love it. What do you think about this? I go from 6 games to a lifetime ban.
It's about time. I mean, do you think that let me ask you guys this, do you think that this is on the heels of the Josh Gordon 1-year holdup, and now today they lay the hammer down and implement this conduct policy? Maybe that's just to answer the bell for all the people saying, well, how could you suspend this guy for a year for smoking weed and this guy only gets 2 games? Well, there was no policy, and is their response? So now they implement this policy, so now those naysayers can kind of step back a little bit?
Well, the day that marijuana comes illegal, which is right around the corner, and that's probably the next 5 years.
It's already
here in most states, right?
Right.
Then that becomes moot point. I think Josh didn't do himself any favor by getting caught not once, not twice, but 3 times, right?
No, of course not.
The precedent to me is Roger Goodell did something good today, and he basically said, look, I know things happen. We always can't. I mean, they still haven't released any of the tapes that show inside what happened, right? Apparently, Goodell saw them. I also figure, as much as I want to get hard on him about the 2 games, I think it should have been more, but there was no policy in place. But if it was 6 games, let's say he gave Ray Rice 6 games, would Ray Rice have the balls to go get a lawyer and fight that and plead it down to 2?
Definitely.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. I don't think so.
Yeah, and here's why. Because normally in anything else, you have the right to do that, right? You see it in baseball and anything. But how bad would Ray Rice, from a PR standpoint, look, knowing that he's trying to plead down when everybody knows what he did?
There's that factor, but I still think he would appeal it.
You don't think the Ravens would step in and say, look, for PR purposes, for our team's sake, for your sake, just take the suspension, take what's given to you, and we'll take it from there?
Yeah, maybe that's one of those gray areas.
There'd probably be a divided house amongst the team
Players
itself.
Association would have
I think there'd be elements within the organization that would want that reduced because they want them on the field.
Right, I understand that. But that's a gray area, right? Because,
Sure.
there's no policy at that
question,
point.
yeah.
There's no policy. Now,
well, we already know what the Ravens fans think. The guy got a standing ovation the first preseason game, which is pretty ridiculous.
So let's just say
he'd get in New England, though.
Pick a player in the NFL.
I don't think so.
Pick a player in the NFL you think could be the next one that does something like this. Give me a name. Rich Incognito.
Manziel.
Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel.
Give me somebody that crosses the line a lot. Let's say
Manziel. He's towing the line.
Okay, so let's say Johnny.
Would it really surprise you if a story came out where Manziel snuffed some girl in a parking lot out in Vegas?
So let's say it's Johnny Manziel, and he gets a 6-game suspension. Can they appeal that? Would the NFL, with guaranteed proof, pictures, videos, whatever it takes, they would never allow an appeal? And I think
you have to allow an appeal.
They would never. They would say, okay, you get an appeal, but I would be surprised if it was ever reduced.
If they followed up on
and
it.
I would be surprised if a player actually went. I really think. Think about it for a minute. Let's just say you're working as an employee for a baseball team. You're an announcer. Yeah, Boston Red Sox. Mm-hmm. Okay, and you came out of Fat Boys with a sub in your hand. A girl tried to take it out of your hands, and you gave her a what for, and you got caught.
Yep.
On video.
Yep.
And the MLB has the same policy, and they say, Nick, you know what? And you're a voice of the station, right? You're the voice of the Red Sox. Nick, you're gonna get suspended for 6 games. Okay. I don't think I would appeal it. From a human standpoint, from a man standpoint, from women, do you want that? Oh, you appealed it and you got it. You should have kept it. You can see women's organizations jumping all over you.
You would definitely be the villain.
Yeah.
No question about it.
Yep.
The question is, how much of that money that was taken off the table can you get back by reducing the game sentence?
Yeah.
As usual, it always comes back to the dollars.
Yeah. And I think in a case like say it was a Johnny Manziel, I would say, hey, listen, I'm not going to appeal it, but I want you to take half of that money that I'm going to lose, and I'd like to be able to have the opportunity to give that to domestic violence or something like that. That puts him now hey, I made a mistake. Christ,
Right.
I made a mistake.
It gets him on the road to recover.
It's not the first guy that's had an issue in any one of the sports, something like this. It just so happens that he was given a cheap, I think, we all agree,
Yeah.
2 games is not a lot.
Yeah.
But when they didn't have a policy, maybe Goodell was in a tough spot with, hey, you don't have a policy. How much can I do here?
Yeah.
But when we lined it up that day with all the people that have been suspended for 2 games, they looked kind of silly. And then there's domestic violence.
I think Goodell, though, did do himself a favor today. At least I think he did in my book.
Yeah, he took some heat off him today.
Definitely. He got it right in the end.
Yeah,
Right?
Which is okay. Which is all we ask.
Right. Now again, we're gonna always disagree with Roger on the 2 games.
Sure.
But the end result, this is more in line, I think, with what people were looking for. You
Right.
get your policy,
Yeah.
and the policy has some teeth behind it.
Sure.
So at the end of the day, again, Goodell quietly quiets the critics.
Yep. No, I agree
You know,
with you.
he has been pretty good at that. You know, whether it's ugly for him while he's weathering the storm,
Right.
but once the storm passes, he's back in everybody's good graces again because he does the right thing.
Well, I don't think it's a coincidence either that this storm was put to bed a day after Josh Gordon's suspension was
Maybe,
upheld.
but all this stuff came at him at the same time.
I just don't think it's a coincidence. He could have did it beforehand. He could have did it afterhand. I think he waited to see what.
Well, Josh Gordon story took a long time.
Well,
for
that's
that
what I'm
to
saying.
appeal.
I think he was waiting to see what the arbitrator would upheld or whether he would cut it in half, or so to speak. So I don't think it's a coincidence whatsoever.
And by the way, so Josh Gordon went to apply to play in the CFL, and they wouldn't allow it. Any player that's under a current agreement with a professional organization like the NFL, they don't.
Yeah.
They made their own policy in the CFL.
Yeah.
Dumb policy, I think. You got a chance to get a guy for a year right now. If anything, just to get the name out there, right? It's like the WHA when they went after all the good hockey players, the Hulls and all those guys. The only idea was to put asses in the seats. You could take a failing franchise that's got a pretty good team, throw Josh Gordon out there. You're going to put asses in the seats. Dumb policy at CFL.
Dumbass.
Yeah, seriously. 603-883-9900 is the number. Roger Goodell again coming out today with strict policies against domestic violence, creating one now in the NFL that would be first-time offenders would have a 6-game suspension. Second-time offenders, lifetime ban. You can go hang out with Donald Sterling at that point. Outstanding.
Well, that got my attention when it came down.
got mine.
That part of the sentence
Made me happy.
Lifetime ban. What is that? A hyphenated word followed by a 2-word sentence? Okay. Lifetime ban. That'll perk my ears up.
In local news, it has happened. It has happened. Let me just double check this, but it has happened.
What's that?
Arthur T. DeMoulas is now in control
I heard that this morning.
of DeMoulas.
Artie for governor.
Artie for governor is the next one, right?
Oh yeah.
Supporters outside Market Basket headquarters today. I want to see if he hires back all those supervisors that were fired. My guess is, yeah, of course he will.
No, they're his people. Right?
Those are his boys.
Yep.
For shizzle.
Joan Rivers is in stable condition after being rushed to a New York City hospital. Comedian Joan Rivers. She's pretty funny. Say what you
How
want.
old is she?
Christ. She's probably old as Moses.
She's 80? 80s?
I'd say she's in her 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although with all the plastic surgery, you could have resurrected and brought up the Titanic with everything she's put on her
She
face.
doesn't
But
look a day over 60.
God, no, in her eyes. What else is going on here? Artie T, there he is. Out in the parking lot doing his thing. He's going to run.
I'm
listen,
serious. If he ran for governor,
he'd be right there.
I'm telling you.
He'd get all the Market Basket employees there.
All right.
603-883-9900 is the number. Again, Jim Censabella Sports Show, afternoon drive here, ESPN, NHradio.com. Boston Red Sox have a night off tonight, Nick.
Yep.
Very quiet out there, but there's a lot of games going on in MLB right now. I'll give you a quick update right now for those of you watching. Cincinnati's up on Chicago, 7-0 in the bottom of the 7th. The Yankees are tied 2-2 with Detroit, and that's about everybody else plays tonight. Did you hear this story, by the way, the USC football player here, that the situation with, I guess he said he jumped in a pool to save his brother.
Vaguely. I don't know the details.
His
But
nephew, he said he was saving his 7-year-old nephew.
Right.
So he had to jump from the balcony, 2 high ankle sprains. That's why he said he was hurt.
That's why he said he was hurt.
and they're looking into it.
And was there a kid in there that was in the pool that he was actually trying to save?
No, there was no. The whole
Fake.
story was completely fabricated. He came out yesterday and said, I made all that up. I just want to know, does he even have a nephew is my question.
Well, that's the other question I would ask.
But they suspended him indefinitely, and he's just,
Again, lying.
another dumbass.
Again. We extremely disappointed in Josh Sarkisian, head coach for USC, said, he let us all down. As I have said, nothing in his background led us to doubt him when he told us of his injuries. I appreciate what Josh has now admitted that he lied and apologized. Although this type of behavior is out of his character for Josh, it's unacceptable.
What's the motive? To cover up?
I don't know. Because to say, hey, I was stupid.
He broke his ankles.
Well, the story is
Did he break his ankles or
two high ankle sprains is what it was reported.
Right.
But it's being reported that they saw him in an apartment complex trying to climb out a window, and it was his girlfriend's place, and she walked in, and then he tried going out the window, which leads you can throw out a couple things. He was maybe trying to steal something from her place, trying to.
Was there another woman in the room? When she walked in?
Maybe he was partaking in some activities with another woman at his girlfriend's place.
And how many stories up was he?
1.5.
Yeah, but wouldn't they find the other woman there?
I don't know. There's a couple things. Yeah. I mean,
unless I would throw her out the window first.
Then
I would jump to save her.
Well, the police gave a description of the person. They said it was African American, dreadlocks, this and that, and the girlfriend said that sounds like my boyfriend Josh.
That's a perfect scenario. He's obviously probably in a bad spot. He's got a girl over there. He's having some fun with. His girlfriend walks in the door. He'd throw the girl out first and go save her and look like a hero at that point. Leave that lesson to all you boys out there, just in case. First of all, don't bring a girl to your girlfriend's house if that's what happened.
Right. Pick another spot.
I can't imagine. Why would you steal from your girlfriend?
Could you pick a worse spot?
Yeah.
Well, maybe he just was stealing. I don't know. Maybe he wanted to go to Arby's or something.
Maybe he wanted to go to Taco Bell, for Christ's sakes. Who knows?
Nothing wrong with that.
All you can do is speculate at this point, because not even USC knows, because he has legal representation, the same lawyer that represented Snoop Dogg, by the way.
Oh, for shizzle.
He was present when he told the team, so he couldn't elaborate on the story. So not even the team knows the full story. All he told the team with his lawyer present was that the story of saving his nephew was 100% fabricated.
I made up the story this fall that was untrue, Shaw said. I was wrong not to tell the truth. I apologize to USC for this action on my part, my U.S. coaches, blah, 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 and I am very grateful. That's great. Earlier in the day, Coach said that the school's investigation into the authenticity of his story was in a holding pattern, so they must have looked at him and said, the jig is up. Come out and tell us now.
I think I know who was in the room with him. It was Manti Te'o's girlfriend.
Oh.
You son of a bitch.
After Wednesday's practice, only 2 players were made available to the meeting, and both players said they had not seen or spoken to Shaw since the story broke.
This is bizarre.
Wow.
You lack discipline.
I like discipline.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna tell a lie like that, try to leave other people's names out of the story so that it's not easy for the others to follow up.
I just want to know if he
so
actually
you're
has
drowning
a
in the
nephew.
pool. No, right.
That's just part of the story.
It's just
does this
ridiculous.
nephew exist? I think the nephew's been hanging out with Manti Te'o's girlfriend.
Here's how the whole thing. Here's how how the story. I just happened to read the back of this there. Thank you for getting me this, Rich. He was not seen on campus Wednesday, but continued to be in contact with campus officials, finally admitting later in the afternoon he lied to him. Officer Jane Kim of the Los Angeles Police Department said Wednesday night that Josh Shaw was mentioned, but was not a suspect. Apparently, on August 23rd at around 10:40 p.m., officers responded to a radio call of a woman screaming at the 500 block of whatever the street is. They met the witness who directed them to the apartment. After knocking on the door, there was no response. Officers made entry. Nobody was home. When they looked at the apartment, they observed that the rear window had been pried open. Witnesses identified a black male with dreadlocks leaving the apartment from the balcony. During the investigation, one person who lives in the apartment returned and talked about how her roommate/boyfriend, Josh Shaw, but he was not named as a suspect. So then they finally figured out that it was him.
Lying.
You liar.
Liar.
Guilty. 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 Good Lord. What's wrong with you, man?
What's wrong with these people?
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Good Lord. If you're going to go do something stupid and jump out a window, come up with something better.
Right.
Guilty.
Anyways, that's what you get at USC. You get flunkies, people that don't know, can't even pass the bar and get other people past their college entrance exams. That's why they're always on suspension. Pete Carroll all the way down.
Oh, Pete Carroll lit the place on fire.
Oh, my God. Talk about not leaving your
back
shoes
door.
when you walk in the door. He just kicked it all in and left.
Kicked in the door and fled out the back like the snake that he is.
Makes Calipari look like a schoolboy. Good. 603-883-9900 is the number. You kids go to Notre Dame. Make me proud. 603-883-99 number. Jim Censabella Show live here on ESPN Radio. Go to ESPNNHradio.com. We'll be right back.
Hey folks, Tom Rowe here for the good people at Infinity of Nashua. Right now at Infinity of Nashua, they're home to one of the most unique automobiles on the planet. The 2014 Q50 all-wheel drive hybrid gets an astounding 30 miles per gallon with a powerful 360 horsepower engine that gives you the performance you demand from a luxury vehicle. The 2014 Q50 all-wheel drive hybrid is priced, get this, below $50,000. Other comparable luxury vehicles can cost you twice as much. All Infinity vehicles are backed by a 4-year, 60,000-mile warranty and a powertrain warranty for 6 years at 70,000 miles. At Infinity of Nashua, they know your time is valuable, and when it comes time to service your vehicle, Infinity of Nashua has a fleet of loaner cars for you to use, so you're not waiting around for your car to be serviced. And the service department hand washes and vacuums your vehicle after every visit. Infinity of Nashua is located on 105 DW Highway in Nashua and can also be found online at infinityofnashua.com. Once more, Infinity of Nashua is located on 105 DW Highway in Nashua and can also be found online at infinityofnashua.com.
Masa Hibachi, located at 1707 South Willow Street in Manchester, New Hampshire, directly across from the Mall, New Hampshire, is a new modern Asian restaurant with a diverse menu. Masa is a great place to enjoy one of their famous specialty martinis with a friend in their large, spacious lounge area. Dine with a small party or a large party in their state-of-the-art hibachi grill. Their sushi menu is incredible with so much to choose from. Take it from me, Jim Censabella, my kids and I love it. And you and your family will love it too at the Masa Japanese Hibachi Grill. For reservations of parties of 5 or more, call 603-626-9888. Masa Japanese Hibachi Grill in Manchester, New Hampshire, directly across from the Mall, New Hampshire. The #1 Japanese hibachi grill in the Manchester area.
Hey, Lynn, how are you?
Great. It's been a while. You look good.
Thanks. Hey, can you tell? I knocked off a few pounds recently.
Yeah, I mean, you really look good.
Well, I can't take all the credit. I owe it to Dr. Waldman and his cool sculpting.
Who?
Dr. Waldman. He's right on Riverside Street in Nashua. I'm telling you, I never had a hard time with my appearance. I work out, I eat healthy, but I just couldn't get rid of these love handles until I had cool sculpting at Dr. Waldman's.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of Dr. Waldman and the new cool sculpting. The entire staff there is great. They'll sit down with you and consult on exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah, they made my cool sculpting experience comfortable and safe. No incisions, no downtime. Plus, I was back at the gym the same night.
And I must say, I like what I see.
Well, then I'll see you for dinner.
Absolutely.
Waldman Plastic Surgery and Dermatology on Riverside Street in Nashua. Make sure to mention this ESPN New Hampshire ad to get a free cool sculpting consultation with Dr. Waldman. Call 603-577-5559 or visit them online at Waldman Plastic Surgery and Dermatology.com. That's Waldman Plastic Surgery and Dermatology.com.
How many miles per gallon do you get from your work van? 8? Maybe 15? Want to get 30 miles per gallon? Holloway Sprinter in Manchester has clean diesel 2014 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter 2500 cargo vans that get an estimated 30 miles per gallon. Yes, a full-size cargo van at 30 miles per gallon. That's almost twice what you're probably getting now. That's serious savings in fuel. And even more value, the 2014 Sprinter gets an oil change every 15,000 miles. That's more time on the road, getting the job done. Holloway Sprinter has a fresh lineup of cargo vans, crew vans, passenger vans, and even minibuses. Stop in for a test drive today. Can't come to us? We'll come to you. Holloway Sprinter, 875 Gold Street in Manchester off South Willow or online at nhsprinter.com. That's nhsprinter.com. Fuel economy based on 2,500 144 wheelbase cargo van at 50% low capacity at highway speeds. Results are based on SAJ 1979J 1939 tests as conducted by Winter Park Engineering LLC. EPA based on fuel economy estimates are not required for vehicles with a gross vehicle weight rating of 8,500 pounds or greater. nhsprinter.com.
Tropical Point Restaurant and Bar in Nashua has the best Spanish cuisine in the state of New Hampshire. Tropical Point captures the true Latin flavor with their exotic menu. Stop by for their amazing roasted chicken or pork shoulder, even their traditional fajitas and rice. The staff is friendly, the service is prompt. It really is a one-of-a-kind experience. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, or just drinks with friends, you can dine in Tropical Point's fun atmosphere or have it delivered right to your home or office. Plus, take advantage of their $5 lunch specials. And don't forget, the game is always on. So head over to the Tropical Point Restaurant and Bar on West Hollis Street in Nashua and like them on Facebook.
Tropical Point Restaurant and Bar, 58 West Hollis Street in Nashua.
Call 603-889-9612. That's 603-889-9612 for true Latin flavor today.
You want sports? How about the Red Sox, Bruins, and Celtics? Hear them all right here on ESPN New Hampshire. Scores, standings, trades, and rumors. This is the ESPN New Hampshire Sports Center.
Tonight is preseason game number 4, the final one before the real football starts next Sunday as the Patriots head to New York to take on the Giants. An important game for wide receiver Josh Boyce, who is on the roster bubble, and also Timothy Wright is expected to be in uniform for the Patriots tonight. Kickoff is at 7:30 from MetLife Stadium in New York. After taking 2 out of 3, the Boston Red Sox head down south. They have the night off tonight before they start a 3-game set with Tampa Bay tomorrow, as Anthony Ronaldo will make his 3rd Major League start. He has a 4.50 ERA through his first 2. Fantasy football fans, make sure to tune in tonight from 6 to 8 p.m. as Nick Anastos and myself, Rich Flerra, get you set for all your drafts this weekend from the Boston Billiards as a fantasy football show from the Boston Billiards, 6 to 8 right here on the ESPN New Hampshire Radio Network and streaming live on ESPNNHradio.com. This Sports Center update was brought to you by the Hanover Street Chop House, the official steakhouse of ESPN New Hampshire, located at 149 Hanover Street, Manchester, New Hampshire.
Back here on hour number 1, 603-883-9900. Here's a little tidbit for you. If you're going to draft Dallas Cowboys defense, you might want to think twice about it right now, as defensive back Jakar Hamilton is being suspended 4 games for illegal substance abuse per league source, according to Adam Schefter.
That may be the NFL's worst
I was gonna
defensive
say,
team.
That's the least of that defense's concerns. They were the worst defense in NFL history last year for the most part.
By the way, when are we doing the draft that I'm going to win for the season? When are we doing the draft?
You can pay me anytime now.
I know that, but when are we doing the draft? Jesus Christ, did I ask him that one?
Well, I was implying that I'm
because you think you're going to win it. You want to have a side bet, Flair? I will.
Absolutely.
See who finishes higher.
Absolutely.
And by the way, listen, can we confirm
Absolutely.
you pay out winner take all. Let's not do this.
That's what we did the last 2 years.
Good, because Nick wants all the money, apparently.
I won all the money last year. Nick won it all the first year.
I'd like to have a horse's ass trophy.
All right. For last place?
For last place.
I like that.
Yeah. And then dumbest move of the year. We're going to give out awards, I think. We should have fun.
I like that. Nice award.
Dumbest move of the year.
Like
Can we
that.
trade in the league?
Absolutely.
Oh, we can. Really? No, how many trades you can do and all.
You can do whatever you want.
Commissioner has to approve it.
Yeah, I'll approve it. I don't care. As long as it's not shenanigans.
Well, cool, that's what I mean. You know how some of these leagues I've played, some of these guys, end of the year, they start loading somebody up, they make a deal.
The power structure in mine is there's an acting commish, but he can be overruled by league vote of majority.
Absolutely. There's 12 people.
Overruled. I love that one.
There's 12 people in the league, so we need majority vote.
They do those, those wink deals that these leagues do.
Yeah,
It
none of that.
pisses me off. All right, so we got to do our draft pretty soon, right? We got at least next week sometime.
I'd like to do it live, here, like a live
Why don't we do it
draft.
at your house there, Mr.
Sure.
New homeowner?
Sure, come on in.
Come on over there.
Follow me. I saw it today. Beautiful place.
Yeah, there we go. Let's do it at an ass.
Get some burgers going.
Yeah, well, everybody brings something.
Sure.
We won't tell everybody where it is, though, because all of our fans would come.
Right. You'd see Jack Agers out in the front yard.
Picketing.
People out there from Demoulas. Former women that Mr. Anastos has been with will be picketing outside.
God,
Let
right.
me in.
Don't give them my address.
No.
Well, speaking of fantasy football, Tristan Cockcroft, an ESPN senior writer
What's his name
expert.
again?
Tristan Cockcroft.
Say that again. I couldn't understand what you said.
Cockcroft.
Cockcroft. Okay. Tristan Cockcroft.
Correct.
You can run with that if you want.
Just wondering which way he was off.
He joined. He's going to join us later. Here's a little tidbit from the interview that you can hear later tonight for the Fantasy Football Show live from the Boston Billiards. Come on down, 6 to 8 p.m. Join myself, Nick Anastos. Jim will be there. All your favorite ESPN New Hampshire talents. But here's a little tidbit about the Patriots defense from Tristan.
I'm going to give you two pretty decent bargains, I think.
Please do.
Okay, well, the Patriots are one of them. the Patriots, I think, anytime you add Darrelle Revis, I think that's a big plus for them. Nice pass defense in a passing league.
A big smile on Rich's face, by the way.
Absolutely.
I like the pick. I like the pickup. And look, put it this way: in a passing league, don't you want to have one of the best quarterbacks in the league?
Oh my God!
There you go.
I just want. Where's Tristan from?
ESPN.
Oh man, that voice goes with the name. Sorry, Cockcroft. Hey, sounds good. Good.
Hey, one of the best in the business.
He ought to be. Good Lord.
You can.
Is he married?
Yes.
What's his wife's name?
I don't know.
Megan. Sorry, man. I went to high school with a guy. I went to high school with a guy named Jason Ball.
Okay.
He married a girl named Crystal Cheney. Her new name was Crystal Ball. Oh, I'm serious. Little tidbits from Auburn High School.
If she had a hyphen name, it'd be Crystal Ball and Cheney.
Right.
Oh, hey.
You like that?
Never thought of that. Rich Flerra pulls one out of the park. Cockcroft, though. Okay, well, that's good tidbits. Good show. We're going to have 6 to 8. I'm sorry. Oh, God. So 6 to 8 tonight. We got to set our draft up, okay? If you had to pick a team with a sleeper, pick a player. Give me a sleeper quarterback this year.
I'll give you go ahead, Rich. I'll let you handle that first.
Well, considering his average draft value, as you can hear later from Tristan, is late in the 100s. Tom Brady.
Oh, here we go.
Is the best fantasy day draft
Why did
value.
You let him go?
Quarterback.
You said go ahead, Rich.
Listen, boys. Listen, there he is, the Messiah himself.
Oh, the new studio. We will not have a Tom Brady.
Listen,
on the wall.
he's getting drafted as the 12th.
It's like a 12-year-old's room here.
He's getting drafted as the 12th or 13th quarterback in fantasy football. You get him in round 15, 14, which is ridiculous value for someone of Tom Brady's caliber.
Yeah, but I know for a fact you're going to get him early because you love Tom
No,
Brady.
I'll sleep on quarterbacks because if you don't get Brady, you can get a guy like Matt Ryan that late. You can get Tony Romo even that late, who traditionally is a top 10.
So Tom Brady's your sleeper.
If you're drafting him in the 12th, 15th, 13th round, how can he not be?
Shotzi, what's yours?
I think he should be about 11
Oscar,
or 12.
go ahead.
11 or 12 off the board.
Off the board.
And by the way, Tom Rowe is going to take Brady in the first
round.
round.
Of course he is.
So he's going to be
He's
gone
got to
by
have
the
his
time Rich
Brady
gets up.
shirt on, his Brady doll.
See, that's why I won last year. I don't go with my heart. I
Absolutely.
go with my brain.
You do like the New England Patriots do. You come up with a budget for each position. That's how I do it.
I just draft the best player.
I'll give you a sleeper, and I don't even like the guy, but I think he's in a position to succeed, and that's Jay Cutler.
Okay.
Look at the weapons there. Look at the weapons.
Notice the Howard Cosell comes out of him. Look at the weapons.
Look at those weapons. Santonio Holmes, the newest Chicago Bear, operating out of the slot.
I love it.
I like it. You got the two best receiver tandem in football, Jeffrey Marshall, Martellus Bennett, a good tight end.
Right.
Matt Forte, probably the best receiving back in the NFC with LaShawn McCoy.
Right.
And then even the backup, Kadeem Carey, will be serviceable. That's a handcuff to watch as
I mean,
well.
I don't even like the guy, but he's going to put up some numbers.
Sure.
And that's what it's all about.
Sure.
So he's going like Brady, late, maybe a little earlier than Brady, but
sleeper.
Right around 10, he'll be there. Yeah.
I say, to me, it's Cam Newton as a quarterback. I don't think he's going to go as high. I mean, anybody goes after Peyton, right? And they go after Tom Brady because it's a New England one. And then there's a Kaepernick, even though they're having a crappy preseason. Cam Newton, just because of the running, to me.
Newton has never finished outside the top 5. Yeah. Outside the top 5 since he's been in the league.
How many years?
He's got fractured ribs.
It's the third season coming up.
5th year.
You don't usually want to start the season with fractured ribs.
I know, but
as a running quarterback.
No, I know. But you know how every time you said this yesterday, every time you think it's one way in the NFL or somebody's going to play a certain way or a team's going to play, boom, they play the other way. Like, if you Haley had a look at it right now, based on all the penalties we've seen, right, all preseason long, you probably think the games are going to take longer. And if games take longer, to me, that's more points, right? I mean, does it just make sense that way?
Yeah.
So don't you think that the number of over and unders, betting boy, don't you think that's going to be a little higher? So wouldn't you want, if you're a gambling man, I would be doing a lot of overs in the first week or two, just to teams fill each other out. I know you said you're going to try to not for 4 weeks, and I think you're completely full of garbage at that point.
If I make it past 4 minutes.
I told him he wouldn't make I said he wouldn't make it past the 1 o'clock games.
No way. No. He's probably been betting on the preseason.
Oh,
I have.
He has. And what's your record? Wins, losses?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Well, we're going to have a guy, well, hopefully.
I win more than I lose. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it.
We should have a tidbit moment we should have set up within our network. We have a tidbit fantasy moment. Pick, a change for the week, somebody up who's up, thumbs, thumbs down, kind of a football thing.
Yeah.
So That would be good. But I wouldn't touch preseason with a poll. I used to.
Yeah, definitely not.
It was like I might as well flip a coin. Really.
Here's the good news. We've got real NFL football a week from tonight. Just 1 week.
Absolutely.
We've been waiting since what, February?
Yeah. Green Bay and Seattle.
Yeah, just one more little short week.
The Packers.
The
Packers play the Hawks. Who are they playing? Seattle, probably. Right?
The defending Super Bowl champion.
They're going to pull the banners down. Pomp and circumstance like you never saw, ladies and gentlemen.
That's going to be a great game, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Great game.
To me, best top 3 quarterbacks in the league.
Rodgers, Manning, and Breeze. No hesitation, no question about it. Manning probably takes maybe a half step back this year just because the bar was set so high a year ago. A lot, I think, has to go right for him to repeat that. But Rodgers is as good as it gets, and Breeze hasn't shown me any signs of slowing down either.
To me, Aaron Rodgers just each year.
I'll tell you, fantasy-wise, who can sneak in there is Stafford.
He's got to work on the mechanics.
But he's
still wild.
But fantasy-wise, he throws for 5,000 yards usually every year. He's got Megatron. This year he's got Golden Tate, a big-time weapon. Still has Reggie Bush. Added Eric Ebron, tight end from North Carolina, who's a stud.
They've got some weapons, but again, he's too wild. He throws too many picks. He makes too many stupid decisions.
All I'm saying is all they do is pass.
If he puts it together, he's got the tools.
He can sneak into that top 3.
Yeah, he could sneak in.
I'd
rather take somebody else.
I haven't heard Breeze from you guys.
No,
he said Breeze.
Oh, did you see
Breeze?
Breeze?
I had Breeze.
How about Phillip Rivers?
Phillip, talk about a guy who would be good for his draft. Phillip, for his draft value, he's another guy getting taken down in the 11 to 15 range with Brady and Cutler, and he finished 4th in standard scoring last year.
He had a great year last year.
He's going to have another good year this year. The only problem is the Chargers have a hell of a schedule. Of course, their non-conference opponents are the NFC West, and anytime you face those secondaries, that's usually a problem.
See, I'd be a little surprised if he had that good of a year again, just because the overall trend prior to last year was in the wrong direction.
Correct.
The Chargers themselves are not going to sneak up on anybody this time around. I don't know. I think it's, again, going to be tough. I know they got that kid Allen is Gumby. Okay, he's great.
Very good.
He's a definite weapon. I like Woodhead. I like their
Darius
backs.
Green.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know if he can.
But as far as draft
those numbers again.
But as far as draft value goes, it's a decent value.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. I think I love this. To me, it's the best time of the year. Is football.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
NFL football.
There's nothing like it.
I can't wait till preseason's over. Brian Hoyer starts tonight, by the way, for the Browns. What is it? Because he flipped somebody off the other day? I mean, the guy's played better than Brian Hoyer has played.
Yeah, he's
Has he, though?
played against the back.
Yes. Well, based on what everybody else is saying.
Yeah, I mean, I watched both the games that they both played. I don't think either one of them separated themselves from the other. So
I know you don't, but I'm listening to what these guys have been talking on NFL Network and everything, saying that they think because of the little, rather large chip on his shoulder, that he keeps knocking himself down on his own.
But I'm going to say that since neither one of them was head and shoulders above the rest, and Nick, you can give me your opinion on this, the loss of Josh Gordon then tells me as an organization I want to go with Hoyer, because why would I want to throw Manziel in the fire without our best playmaker there to help him out and aid him in his development? I'd rather give it to the veteran, let him take his lumps this year, let Manziel learn the scheme, and take it from there.
Yeah, I agree with that approach overall. It worked with Aaron Rodgers perfection in Green Bay, and he didn't sniff the field for 3 years. That used to be the norm, by the way. Not too long ago either. That was the norm. You got drafted, you weren't heard from for at least a year. Okay, more likely 2-3 years. Then we've had the exception to the rule come down the pipe with this new breed of quarterback, the athletic quarterback. The college offensive schemes are much more complicated and pro-like now, so that guys are ready to play right away when they do make the jump. But all that still being said, there's nothing wrong with adding some seasoning to a guy on the sidelines.
Sure.
And in Johnny's case, the guy's got to grow up first before I'm going to hand him the keys to my football team.
But you tell him, you say that.
So you would
say
go
that
with Hoyer?
Yes.
Well, Hoyer did pretty good last year. In the games he played, he led them to some wins, and he's stable. And look, he had some good tutelage under Tom Brady. But, you say that a lot, and I do agree with you on that. But why isn't somebody in his ear going, just shut up? Just shut up and play the game. Stop with the antics on the field. Stop with the money crap. Stop with I don't mind to be honest with you, the flip under the bird, if it was any other player, it wouldn't have been involved. Because it's him, it just adds more BS to his arsenal.
Because he's an entitled little brat.
Exactly.
Was he that? I mean, he's always been.
He's been surrounded by yes men and yes friends his entire life.
Now,
okay.
So one good hit will change that.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I applaud the Browns coaching staff for making this decision earlier rather than later and get it over with.
Right.
Okay, and move forward.
Yes, my son.
Well, I was going to say, the other thing with Cleveland, why I would go with Hoyer, you have a very good defense, one of the best run Ds in the game. You have one of the best corners in the game in Joe Hayden.
I like their pairing.
You have a good running back in Ben Tate. You have a good backup in Terrence West.
I think they're good everywhere.
And a very good offensive line. Anytime your offensive line is anchored by Joe Thomas, Alex Mack, Mitchell Schwartz, you go with the veteran who can who can manage the offense, manage the game. You run the football, you play defense, and you win out slugfest. That's the Cleveland Browns MO this year.
There you go. 603-883-9900. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll take your calls. Give us a shout. Give us your fantasy league coming up and talk about some of the picks maybe you think are going to do well and some of the ones that might not do so well. And do you think Tom Brady is that good of a quarterback as like Rich Flerra does? I don't know. 603-883-9900, the Jim Censabella Show live on ESPN Radio. Go to ESPNNHradio.com. We'll be right back.
The Hanover Street Chop House has taken fine dining in the city of Manchester to a whole new level. We know about the food, the hand-cut steaks, the chops, the fresh fish, but now you can eat like a king at lunchtime as well with their new business lunch, which features 3 courses for just $15. Sip some wine at the piano bar or check out the new Raw Bar every Thursday. It's the Hanover Street Chop House, 149 Hanover Street in Manchester. Place your reservation at 603-644-CHOP. That's 644-2467 or visit HanoverStreetChopHouse.com.
Hey, Lynn, how are you?
Great. It's been a while. You look good.
Thanks. Hey, can you tell? I knocked off a few pounds recently.
Yeah, I mean, you really look good.
Well, I can't take all the credit. I owe it to Dr. Waldman and his cool sculpting.
Who?
Dr. Waldman. He's right on Riverside Street in Nashua. I'm telling you, I never had a hard time with my appearance. I work out, I eat healthy, but I just couldn't get rid of these love handles until I had cool sculpting at Dr. Waldman's.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of Dr. Waldman and the new cool sculpting. The entire staff there's great. They'll sit down with you and consult on exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah, they made my cool sculpting experience comfortable and safe. No incisions, no downtime. Plus, I was back at the gym the same night.
And I must say, I like what I see.
Well, then I'll see you for dinner.
Absolutely.
Waldman Plastic Surgery and Dermatology on Riverside Street in Nashua. Make sure to mention this ESPN New Hampshire ad to get a free cool sculpting consultation with Dr. Waldman. Call 603-577-5559 or visit them online at Waldman Plastic Surgery and Dermatology.com. That's Waldman Plastic Surgery and Dermatology.com.
UNH Wildcats football is back. Season tickets are on sale now at UNHWildcats.com or 603-862-4000. Check out the all-new special pricing for UNH alumni, parents, kids, military, and more. For the first time ever, new game times including night football at Cal Stadium. Lock in your great seats now for UNH Wildcats football at 603-862-4000 or UNHWildcats.com. The lights go on September 13th.
You've probably heard me talk about this Sleep Number bed, how it's changed the way I sleep. My sleep number is 60. I've had the bed for over 6 years now. This bed, this mattress, has helped improve the lives of close to 8 million people. Sleep Number's done it again, though. They got something called Dual Temp. It's a revolutionary temperature balancing layer with active air technology. The Dual Temp can be added to any mattress, even if you don't have a Sleep Number bed. Active air technology heats or cools each side with a simple touch of a button from head to toe comfort. Just like the Sleep Number bed, it's dual-sided, so you can select the ideal temperature and sleep exactly the way you would like. Only one place in the world where you're going to find the Dual Temp layer. That's a Sleep Number store near you. Tell them I sent you. Right now, they got great innovations there. They got sales going on as well. Up to $800 off Sleep Number, memory foam, and iSeries bed sets. There's 400 Sleep Number stores nationwide. Find one near you by calling 1-800-SLEEP25. 1-800-SLEEP25.
It's not okay to text and drive, but it is okay to text when we drive you crazy. Join the ESPN New Hampshire Text Club and stay in touch whenever you have something to say in the world of sports. Just text the word JOIN to 50352 and you're connected. Remember, text JOIN to 50352 now. You like sports? We've got it all right here on ESPN New Hampshire. scores, standings, trades, and rumors. This is the ESPN New Hampshire Sports Center.
Tonight is the final dress rehearsal for the New England Patriots and the rest of the National Football League as they gear up for regular season action, which begins a week from today. It'll be the Green Bay Packers going to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. As far as New England Patriots go, Jimmy Garoppolo will get the start tonight instead of Ryan Mallett, and Aaron Dobson will make his preseason debut. The game kicks off at 7:30 tonight from MetLife Stadium. Fantasy football fans, tune in tonight to ESPN New Hampshire as Nick Anastos and myself get you ready for all your fantasy football drafts and lineups in the Boston Billiards Club from 6 to 8 p.m. You want your fantasy football questions? Simply text in all of them and join our text club and text in JOIN to 50352. I'm Rich Flerra, and the Sports Center update was brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time.
Back in here, hour number 1. Getting ready to wrap up. Joining me at 4:20 is Tim Britton from the Providence Journal. Talking some baseball. I'm not going to focus too much on the Sox. I think I might talk a little bit about the signing with Castillo. Might be a good idea to do that, but I really want to kind of dive down and see how some of these teams in baseball have just gone from how the mighty have fallen, like the guys like Oakland, Detroit. Now they're struggling to even get into the playoffs, which blows my mind.
You see what happened to Price last night?
No, what happened to him?
He just got
lit?
Annihilated.
Did he?
He got pulled after 2 innings.
I saw something.
Well, Detroit's playing like crap. So
Since the trade, David Price was 1-3 with a 5-something ERA, while Drew Smiley, who was traded for Price, was 2-0 with a 1.81.
He'll be an all-star within 2 years, Smiley.
Well, that just to show you who's pitching like the A's.
Well, he was playing the Yankees, too, so that's why Price just couldn't handle it.
Oh, that must be why.
There's history there, obviously.
That's got to be it.
That's it. Did you see the Chicago Cubs right now? How good of a team they've been this whole month?
They've actually been winning games, right?
Yeah. I love it. Red Sox rookie Castillo granted a work visa. So he's coming. What do you think they're going to do with him? Is he going to get any playing time before the season ends, like a Pawtucket or something? Are the Sox going to bring him right up, put him in?
I think he's going to play tomorrow.
You think so?
I think so.
Sooner than
I don't
later.
see why not.
Why not? Right. I mean,
right.
How cool is that going to be? I wonder what number he chooses. Did he pick one out yet?
Hopefully he chooses 2. They claim he's Ellsbury's replacement. We'll give him Ellsbury's
I want to see number. I want to see like 72. I want to see one of them high numbers. Like, wasn't Puig 66?
Yeah. Abreu 72.
Yeah. Newly signed Boston Red Sox outfielder Rusney Castillo has successfully obtained his work visa from the United States government, and there he is. He's already standing with.
He doesn't have a number though, does he?
No, I don't know. Hang on. Where are we? Immediately eligible to playing the government, and is immediately eligible to play in games, according to Juan Perez, the president and CEO of Rock Nation Sports, who is representing the Cuban native. Rock Nation Sports. That's a good ad.
Jay-Z.
That's Jay-Z.
That's Jay-Z? Wow. 27-year-old Castillo on Saturday signed a 7-year, $72.5 million contract. That's a steal, too. Wednesday, according to Perez, Castillo was granted the P-1A, for you, Rich, just so you can go do this, work visa from the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. Wow, that's great. He's got that really quick.
I bet you he's in the lineup tomorrow. I'm going to go out on a limb and make that claim.
He left Cuba after undisclosed circumstances last winter, believed to be in December, established residency in Haiti, and came to the U.S. with his wife and 5-year-old daughter on June 25th, the same day Jay-Z and his wife, Beyonce, brought their On the Run tour to a sold-out. Who cares?
Well, it's Rock Nation.
Because it's Rock Nation. They got to chuck that in there,
they
right?
Care.
That's awesome. So he could play any day.
Tomorrow, I'm telling you.
Yeah, but from a journalistic point of view, though, they should not be including the Jay-Z information on his tour.
Part of the deal.
Why not, dude?
Because
I need to know what's up.
No,
with
it's
it.
part.
I'm waiting for the tour dates.
It's part of the deal.
You know?
But again, you should not merge that.
But that's
you should not merge sponsorship with what's supposed to be nonpartisan.
That's the blueprint.
Reporting.
I agree.
Get it?
And we're seeing that, unfortunately, more and more. By the way, these ads, but they look like they're news reports. You see them online sometimes. You click on it here; it's supposed to be an article. In fact, it's basically an infomercial. I don't know. Sorry.
You okay?
I'm good.
Do you need a hug?
That's the Rock Nation's blueprint.
Somebody get him a Fat Boy
It
steak
just
and
seems
cheese.
like there's a lot of selling out going on, and it upsets me. That's all.
It's not Friday. It's not Fat Boys Friday. It's
No,
Thursday.
tomorrow.
If you're the Kansas City Royals and you're in first place in the Central, and the first time you're going to make the playoffs in not 10 years, not 20 years, but how many years, Nick?
Since 1985, 29
30,
years.
almost 29 years. You think that fans in Kansas City would start showing up. Royals manager Ned Yost pleaded with fans on Wednesday to show up for the remaining home games. One night after Alex Gordon's walk-off homer gave the Kansas City a dramatic win over Minnesota that was seen by just 13,847 people at Kauffman Stadium.
How many?
13,847.
Which is a beautiful stadium.
Absolutely
The
beautiful. I've been there
waterfall,
one years with Sprint. Sprint's out there, so we got
Well,
to go to a game.
that's what happens when you have a loser in town for a generation, literally.
And it's not like
Right?
Kansas City fans aren't great sports fans. The
Right.
Chiefs, Arrowhead's one of the hardest places to play.
But I mean, a whole generation of fandom possibly sacrificed and lost.
Tainted.
Yeah.
He basically, some fans took Yost's comments out of context. They thought they were a dig towards the fans who suffered 29 years without a playoff appearance. But the skipper said Wednesday he wasn't being critical of fans. He said, quote, "We've been working hard to try and make our fans happy and make our fans proud of us for all these years, these last few years.
Yeah.
We're like, come on, watch us." I can't blame the guy.
No, I don't blame the guy at all.
13,000. What do they hold? They hold at least 30,000 there, right? Kauffman
Minimum.
Stadium?
Oh, at least.
Minimum.
Sorry, here it is,
Probably
31,000. Here it was, too. It wasn't just Yost who noticed the empty seats, though. Gordon also mentioned how light the crowd was one night after 31,758 turned out to see who? The New York Yankees and Derek Jeter, his last scheduled appearance. And the next night was 13,000 people. So they sold it out at 31,758. But yet, when Derek Jeter comes to town. Same thing, I'm sure, when the Red Sox come. Those teams come. The stadiums fill up that don't. But good God, I think after 29 years, I'd be turning the stadium upside down being excited for your ball club.
Right. Well, I mean, it's just a byproduct
Frickin' ownership.
of ownership, yes, but also the way Major League Baseball is structured.
Yes.
Without a salary cap.
Yeah.
You have winners and losers. Guess who was a loser for 29 years?
Yeah.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
Milwaukee. They made the playoffs, what, in 07? That had been the first time in 25 years.
Well, the Royals had drawn 1.4 million fans through Tuesday night's game. How much do you think more they've drawn than last year total?
How much more fans?
How many more fans they've drawn to this point of the season than last year, knowing where they are in the playoffs?
A few thousand.
No, more fans over the whole course of the year. A few thousand. They've drawn over 100,000 more over a year ago. That's an average of 23,000 per game, which would give the club about 1.9 million fans per season. The best single season mark for that ball club since 1993. So,
all right.
not bad.
So winning does boost the numbers a little bit.
Sure. But I mean, crying out loud. 31,000 sold out to see Jeter's last stand at the Alamo, and yet the next night, 13,000.
Let's not remember, Kansas City is another one of those declining American cities, too. In reality, it's one of the highly impoverished areas is Kansas City. Same thing with St. Louis. Oh, yeah.
Really?
Absolutely.
I was thinking Detroit.
Detroit, right? The usual suspects. Cleveland, yeah. Flint.
Baltimore.
Yep.
Baltimore. But I didn't
Kansas
realize
City
Kansas
is not immune to that.
Christ, I went from Sprint corporate compound to the game and never went anywhere off there. So
right.
I couldn't tell you whether it was one way or the other. But so Castillo could play any day for the Sox. We're all in agreement with that. I think it might throw him in. What the hell?
Why not?
I'd go pay to see him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to see the kiddo. You can also listen to it on the #1 station in New Hampshire, ESPN Radio, for every game during the season.
The home of the Boston Red Sox in New Hampshire.
Home of the Boston. So at 4:20, we have Tim Britton joining us from the Providence Journal. Maybe he can give us some light on when we might be able to see Castillo play. Couple scores real quick. Bottom of the ninth, Yankees and Detroit are tied 2-2. Come on, Yanks. The top of the ninth, Cincinnati's shellacking Chicago, 7-1. Top of the first, San Francisco and Colorado tied up at 0-0. Red Sox are off it tonight. They pick it up tomorrow night against the
Tampa Bay
Rays. I always want to say Devil Rays. We're going to come back for hour number 2. Talk more sports, take your calls, football calls, baseball calls. Mr. X, where are you?
Mr. X.
You puss, where are you? Give us a call, 603-883-9900. The Jim Censabella Sports Show live, ESPN Radio. Come back for hour number 2. Go to ESPNNHradio.com. We'll be back.